Day of the Dead in this movie, as you watch Coco. I ain't never really truly watched it. I just remember seeing this scene of them showing Day of the Dead because this is something that our people honor. This is something that they be ready for every year. Cause they'll say that it's not their Halloween, but in a sense it is. It's really no different no different than Halloween. It's literally the same as Halloween especially when you look into how Halloween started. You know how Halloween started about, or how Halloween came about. It's the same as Day of the Dead, but a lot of times our people be like, it's not the same as Halloween. It's different. It's holier. It's not as scary and spooky as Halloween. It's the same exact thing. Ain't really nothing different, right? So when you go to the article, right, going into it, it says Day of the Dead, as it translates in English, began in central and southern Mexico thousands of years ago. At that time, mourning the dead was seen as disrespectful, and instead of grieving, it was more important to keep the memory of those who have passed alive. Those who celebrate the holiday believe that at midnight on October 31st, the souls of deceased children come down from heaven. So this is nowhere in the Bible. You see what I'm saying? This is paganism, and that goes back to the video I just made on Halloween, also known as Samhain. It's the same as that. They believe the same exact thing, that the dead come back to life on a certain day. That, know what I'm saying, that spirits come alive, evil spirits be around. They believe in the same as that. It ain't no different. This is nowhere in the Bible. It said those who believe the holiday believe that at midnight on October 31st, and it's no coincidence that it's literally right beside Halloween. Like, it's no coincidence. It's kind of like when you have Hanukkah and you have Christmas, right? Everybody knows about Christmas, but nobody really know about Hanukkah, right? But they're around the same time, you know. But everybody know about Halloween, but a few people know about Day of the Dead. You see what I'm saying? So it says those who celebrate the holiday believe that at midnight on October 31st, the souls of deceased children come down from heaven and reunite with their families on November 1st. This is how you know it's pagan. Like, why do they say it? How do they know a certain day to say? Like, how do they know on October 31st, on October 1st, they reunite with their families? Like, where they get this information from? This all stems back to paganism, right? And wickedness. This don't have nothing to do with the Bible and of the Most High God. It's a day of the day. It's a day to celebrate the dead, the same as Halloween. They dress up the same as Halloween. It's the same thing, no different. But people say it's different, but it's when you look into the history of Halloween and look at Day of the Dead, it ain't really no difference between them. It says November 1st is also All Saints Day. They believe the souls of the deceased adults come to visit on November 2nd, which is also known as All Souls Day in the Catholic religion. Right, you see they got the table celebrated and decorated and things like that with the candles. And it says the festivities surrounding Day of the Dead are filled with skulls and skeletons. Ain't it the same with Halloween? They have skulls and skeletons. It says celebrators wear colorful makeup and costumes, hold parades and parties, sing and dance and make offerings to the lost loved ones. Don't they do the same thing with Halloween? Like, ain't it the same thing as Halloween? And even when you could look back at Halloween when it was called Samhain back then, they would do offerings to the dead. But people barely do that now with Halloween because they really didn't keep that. They don't really keep that custom no more of Halloween. But the Day of the Dead do. They still do the offering to the loved ones, and that's what started Halloween, which was called Samhain at the time. People also create altars in honor of loved ones who have passed, and they did that back then as well too. With Halloween, with All Souls Day, they created altars. It says in honor of loved ones who have passed, and I'm gonna put that video of the Halloween of how Halloween started. I'm going to put that in the description, so y'all check that out. It's a lot of good information in that video. It says, people who also create altars in honor of loved ones who have passed. They also decorate with pictures, flowers, candles, the deceased loved one's favorite food, and bread of the dead. Despite the painted faces, costumes, skulls, and skeletons, it is important to note that this holiday is not a Mexican version of Halloween. It says, Day of the Dead is not intended to be a spooky holiday like Halloween. So the question I would ask, if it's not meant to be a spooky day of Halloween, why would you put costumes on and paint your face if it's not supposed to be spooky? They do the same thing at Halloween. You having skulls and skeletons, you painting your face, you wearing costumes. If it's not meant to be spooky, why do you do those things? It says, while Halloween is dark and scary, the Day of the Dead is a bright and colorful celebration of life. It sound good. A celebration of life. It sound good. It ain't a dark day. It sound good. But the actions that it's portraying is the complete opposite. The same thing with Halloween. Both holidays share the theme of death. But the point of Day of the Dead is to celebrate the memory of those who have died. So that's the same thing with Halloween and how it started. People don't know that, though. When they celebrate Halloween, you're literally celebrating the dead, celebrating evil spirits. You just don't know that when you celebrate Halloween. And it could be a lot of Mexicans that celebrate Day of the Dead and don't know why they doing it. I know it's a lot of them that do. Majority of them don't know why they celebrate Day of the Dead. They don't know where it come from. It's the same with people celebrating Halloween. So when you go to 14, 2 Corinthians 11:14, it say, and no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. And I pulled both of them scriptures on my recent video of Halloween. Satan disguised himself as an angel of light. So Day of the Dead, it may seem good to a lot of our people. Well, it's just paint. I'm just painting my face. I'm just wearing a costume. I'm just going to the grave of my loved ones and talking to them and things like that. But they don't understand that Satan is transformed into an angel of light. He disguised himself as positive, as beautiful. So people won't look at Day of the Dead and Halloween as being a bad thing. They'll look at it just having fun. I'm doing it for the kids. We dancing, got the music playing, got the parades. So people look at that as, well, it's okay, it's fun. But when you look at it, when you look into these things and where they come from, you see Satan as plain as day in the midst of all these things. He's in the midst of all these holidays that so-called white man showed us. Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, then the day they tell us when New Year start, celebrating your birthday, Father's Day, Mother's Day. These are the things that was introduced to us by our oppressor when we was brought over here on slave ships. Because a lot of people don't know that Hispanics and Native Indians, a lot of y'all, right, went onto slave ships. A lot of y'all were in chains under the so-called white man, the Spaniards. So that's just to show you, man, that Satan come as an angel of light and come as being sweet. But when you really look into these things, when you look into these holidays that we was introduced to throughout history, our ancestors were introduced to it, our grandma was introduced to it, her grandma was introduced to it, her great-grandma was introduced to it, our mother was introduced to it, now we're introduced to it. Now a lot of us show their kids this, but they don't know why they doing the things they do. We don't know why we celebrate the things that we celebrate, or the things, the Day of the Dead and Halloween and things like that. Don't know why. So that's why it's very, very important to do your research and start to question the things that we've been taught and come back to this Bible as being the Israelites and keep God's commandments, because we in the last days. If you don't repent, you're going to perish in these days. All right, so with that, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. I say Shalom and Kum Yashua.